Is Elon's empire at risk? Ross Gerber has some thoughts.
Elon Musk's been making headlines, but related to AI, not so much the cars, where a lot of the attention's been focused on a vote for the CEO's pay package. Joining us, Mr. Ross Gerber, for a check-in, President and CEO at Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management, on Tesla and more. Ross, let's talk Tesla firstly, as it seems like you've become increasingly frustrated. You went over the past year from not buying Tesla to now selling some of the shares. Last time you told us you guys were winding that down. Where are you at?
Well, we're still winding. We've got so many shares over all these years that, it's taken kind of a bit of time to unload it. But that said, we've done a bunch of selling of Tesla. We're holding still a pretty decent sized position, and we're whittling it down.
What? Now, just to be clear, if you, for example, owned many tens of billions of dollars of Tesla stock, and you were trying to whittle your position down to zero Tesla stock, naturally, it would probably take some time to unload that position unless you just dumped it on the market and likely caused the stock to crash enormously, right? Because there'd just be an enormous mismatch between buying and selling. Bam, stock crashes. So that would be true if the Gerber Kawasaki ETF had many tens of billions of dollars of Tesla stock. I mean, honestly, a couple of $1 billion of Tesla, dump that on the market, ain't gonna do fucking shit. Tesla's average daily trading volume over the last 3 months is just over 95 million shares. Close to $20 billion of Tesla shares bought and or sold every day on average over the last 3 months. In order to meaningfully move Tesla's stock price, particularly in a negative direction, if you were selling the stock, you would literally need to be selling billions of dollars of the stock in a single day. The impression an unsophisticated viewer of CNBS might get when they hear Ross talking about the fact that they own, fuck knows how he was saying it, quite a decent amount of shares, pretending to be, it's like almost like reverse psychology, like doubling up there. A decent amount of shares. See, that's something that Ron Barron would say, the guy who actually owns fuck tons of Tesla stock in the billions of dollars. We own a decent amount of shares. If Ron Barron was dumping Tesla, that's what he'd say. If he was trying to low-key sound like he's not trying to brag, but actually has a fuck ton of stock, we own a pretty decent amount, and so we've been unloading and whittling our position down, but it's taken a very long time because we own quite a decent amount of shares. So shout out to Tesla Boomer Mama for posting this in orange. Based on the left here, the GK ETF, Gerber Kawasaki, Ross's ETF, that apparently owns a decent amount of Tesla stock that they've been unloading. At its peak, held just over 8,000 shares of Tesla stock. And as of this last update, 7th of April, owned about 1,000 shares. Is it just me, or is Ross is he trying to suggest that they own a lot more Tesla stock than they do? I'm a little confused. I mean, is this data correct? I'm just on the official GK ETF information website. Presumably it's official. And yep, here's the portfolio manager. So let's have a look here. Assets under management, $21 million. $21 million of assets. Maybe that data that Tesla Boomer Mama posted was accurate. Let's try and find their current holdings. Yeah, biggest position as I record this is Nvidia, $2.3 million, followed by Microsoft, $1.7 million, followed by Google, just over $1.4 million. Let's see. They've been unloading Tesla. Let's see if we can find how much of their position is remaining in Tesla stock. Here we go. They own a whopping 800 shares of Tesla stock, representing $140,952, a 0.66% allocation. Now, with this important context in mind, does anyone have any idea what Ross was suggesting? Because the impression that I got was that the guy must have billions of dollars of Tesla in his ETF and thus didn't want to dump it all in a single day or even a single week because it might adversely affect the price of Tesla stock while they were dumping. Therefore, they've been slowly whittling their position down over many months because it's just so fucking gigantic. That's their only possible option. This appears to be accurate information. A peak holding of Tesla stock of just over 8,000 shares at the time of this chart, down to 1,000, and now, nearly 2 months later, that roughly 1,000 has become 800 shares. Just for context, by the way, I've added shares personally held by some guy with 3 first names based on the same scale on the left here. By the way, for those who aren't aware, ARK Invest in blue, that scale is on the right, literally 1,000 times larger. So based on the scale on the left, we've got the GK fund here, Gary Black's future fund in green, and SMR in this bluey kind of color. Where's the... Hey, I guess my editor's going to have to fix this. It seems like the SMR ownership's not on the chart. Wait. What? Hang on. Oh, I get it. Oh, right. I guess if this guy with 3 first names ever decides to sell his Tesla stock, it's going to take him decades to unload it all because they have quite a sizable position. Now, look, maybe I'm being unreasonable. I'm just going to rewind that and just listen again to Ross's description of their whittling away of their Tesla position. Because if I didn't know any better, kind of seems like the guy's trying to create an impression of owning a lot more Tesla stock than they actually do, and the fund being a lot bigger than it actually is. But maybe I'm just imagining things. Let's give him a second chance.
It seems like you've become increasingly frustrated. You went over the past year from not buying Tesla to now selling some of the shares. Last time you told us you guys were winding that down. Where are you at?
Well, we're still winding. We've got so many shares over all these years that, it's taken kind of a bit of time to unload it. But that.
So very many shares.
That said, we've done a bunch of selling of Tesla. We're holding still a pretty decent sized position.
Yes, a very decent sized position, as we can see on screen now. Shit, bro, this is so good, man. It's like a guy with like a legitimate micro penis walking around claiming he's got a massive kidney rattler. I mean, is this real life? Is this parody or something? We're looking at the facts right now. I'm on the website, currently holding 800 shares of Tesla stock. This clip has just gone to air. It's not a rerun. 800? 800 shares of Tesla is what? Say it again, Ross.
It's taken kind of a bit of time to unload it. But that said, we've done a bunch of selling of Tesla. We're holding still a pretty decent sized position.
Oh, God damn it, dude. Now, look, I know to an individual investor, right, having 800 shares of Tesla would be a pretty decent position. It's nearly $150,000 off the stock. It's a lot. But for an ETF, bro, what? I'm really trying to be as charitable and generous as I possibly can in interpreting these comments, but there's only 2 options: deception or delusion. You'd have to be deluded to think that an ETF holding literally 800 shares of Tesla stock, half the people watching this channel own more than that individually, is a pretty sizable position. That's delusional. The only other possibility would be intentional deception, in which we actually refers to individuals who happen to use Ross's wealth management and or advisory firm and individually happen to own Tesla, and for some strange reason Ross would be counting their shares as well, and then also I guess he's been telling them all to sell. But that would make about as much sense and be as reasonable as me starting an ETF. Ticker, let's see here. SDA for seeking daddy's approval. I don't know, I just randomly picked that. Which happened to hold 800 shares of Tesla stock. But then I began to appear in the media and talk about the fact that we actually own tens of billions of dollars worth of Tesla stock, because we, in that case, actually refers to the collective ownership of Tesla stock from people viewing this YouTube channel. True, based on extrapolations from polls I conducted on Patreon a while ago, which alone had multiple billions of dollars of Tesla shares held just by Patreon supporters. But how dishonest would that be to use the term we? What the fuck's going on here? Deluded? Dishonest? Both? Maybe there's a third option I'm just not considering. I know we're off on a tangent here, I'm trying to understand. You'd think that if you have an ETF that's actively trading and owns a position in Tesla stock and it's been whittling down that position in Tesla stock, we saw the graphics on screen earlier, that's the we the guy's referring to. Obviously, if you wanted to talk about your clients, whose money you're advising them on, you'd say our clients own, and we've been recommending our clients sell as well, as opposed to we, right? Anyway, enough of that. Just one of the 2 Ds. Maybe there's a third D I just can't think of.
And we're whittling it down still as we see really a lack of focus and direction for Tesla. And with this shareholder vote on June 13th, not looking too good for Elon, what's next for Tesla is very hard to tell. And also with the change in their business plan, it's much harder to value into the future.
What do you think the impact of the vote on his pay package is? Does that have a meaningful impact on the company, on the shares?
Yeah, it does in both outcomes. So if he wins the pay package, it means he's going to have to sell like $25 billion worth of Tesla stock to pay taxes. And that tax bill is going to be borne by the shareholders, the current shareholders. So that's very dilutive and expensive to think that.
What the fuck? Dude's trying to claim that stock options accounted for all the way back in 2018 when the compensation plan was agreed upon. I can't, bro. If I didn't know any better, tinfoil hat alert. I might wonder if Ross was continuing to hold his pretty decent sized position of 800 shares of Tesla stock in the GK ETF, selling it down at a rate of about 3 shares per week, simply to have a reason to appear in the media to talk about Tesla, just to bring new clients to the GK ETF, who also believe that ELON bad and their wealth advisory and or whatever the fuck business they have. Is that possible? Nah, that would never happen. Nobody would hold a piddly tiny little position of Tesla, try to imply that it's really massive though, just as a reason to keep talking about Tesla in the media to promote their own businesses. Would they? Nah.
That Tesla is somehow going to raise 20 something billion very easily, that will not be fun. And then if he loses, then it becomes, well, what is Elon going to do? Obviously, the bulk of his net worth is really in Tesla, and it's the only profitable business he actually runs. So without Tesla's valuation, like if Tesla goes down substantially, it could put Elon's entire empire at risk. So it's really an interesting and delicate balance that Elon's dancing right now, and it's kind of a lose-lose for Tesla at the moment.
Shares have been kind of hanging in there, though, roughly around this 170. What do you think generally about the way they've handled the price cuts and Chinese competition, kind of the main more cyclical themes for the autos right now? Also, the kind of launch post-Cybertruck. What's your view on the core business here over the last quarter?
So this is where it gets tricky because essentially Elon's trying to change the story of Tesla from being an EV maker with autonomous driving to being an autonomous driving company with robotics. And in doing that, he sold a lot of investors on this, sort of future that he sees that has kept the valuation extremely high with an even higher forward PE than NVIDIA. But at the same respect, he's let the EV business completely languish and has done nothing to help sell electric vehicles. In fact, doing a lot of things that hurt the sales of Tesla on an almost daily basis. So, essentially Tesla's struggling now to sell cars, yet they have the best cars in the world. So, it's this weird dichotomy of like, what is Tesla? So people are still buying the hype and they're buying into the AI and the full self-driving story. But I think what they're missing is, how is Tesla going to make money over the next couple of years if they're not focused on selling EVs? And so, once again, it's a lost ship now in a lose-lose situation. It's not the kind of stock I'm betting a lot of money on. That's for sure.
What do you think the August unveil of Robotaxis is going to look like? Do you think that's going to live up to expectations? What are those expectations?
I hate to say it, but it's a non-event. These launches have...
Oh my God, dude. You better believe I'll be revisiting this clip a few years from now. Just to be clear, Ross, who still holds a pretty decent sized position in Tesla stock, suggesting that the August 8th Robotaxi event will be a non-event. Time will tell.
No time frame of when anything's ever going to be completed or actually done. So, to me, this was a sort of a half-hearted attempt to keep the story around AI. It's a marketing event for Tesla.
Bro, this just gets better and better. A marketing event, as opposed to showing off a vehicle design for a dedicated robotaxi that will enter production. A marketing event. Bro, this guy, what has happened? A marketing event?
It doesn't mean a car is coming anytime soon or in any way that we can model out what revenue or what this vehicle will actually do for the Tesla story. I think it'll be nice to see whatever they do. I love their vehicles, but it doesn't help them sell cars. And right now it's Q2 and, people are struggling even to buy. We have clients that have just recently bought Teslas with the 0% financing, and then they go down to the service center and the car's not even there. It's such a mess there. So they have operational problems. This idea that he's laying off people and there's no effect on the overall business is 100% false. I've never seen Tesla in such disarray. So, if you buy into Elon, buy the stock, but if you have some doubts about this, there's a lot of doubts that I have about where Tesla's going now. And I used to see this very crystal clear.
When you talk about how he's trying to refocus with AI and that's kind of where he's dedicating his energy, he's also got the XAI project as well, though. Right. So, is there some synergy there if he feels that that's truly revolutionary? You were with him at the beginning on the revolution of EVs. Why not trust his vision for the AI stuff that he's going to be able to link all these things together?
Because Elon bad. The story has changed now that Elon bad. Why is Elon bad? Oh, because I live in California. And Elon has opinions that are illegal in California. Therefore, Elon bad.
You know, it's interesting because I certainly don't bet against people and would never bet against Elon. But I think from the perspective of like why all of a sudden is AI so important, it's because Sam Altman and OpenAI became the story and he wants to be involved with whatever's hot. And this is an...
Oh, dude. What the fuck, dude? I am having such a difficult time here, just not... Bro. Suggesting that he wants to be involved with whatever's hot? Yeah, that's right. Reusable rockets are really hot back in the day when SpaceX started, right? They're just jumping on the bandwagon of reusable rockets. But don't worry, that's obviously an exception. I mean, electric vehicles were really hot back in the day. Oh, wait, no, they weren't. Oh, but don't worry. AI was really hot back in the day when it co-founded OpenAI. Oh, but don't worry. Human brain interfaces were really hot back in the day when he started Neural. Oh, no, they weren't. And as for FSD, this project has been in the works for a fucking decade. It's AI for a fucking decade. Bro, I'm out of words. What? Did he really just say that?
Certainly don't bet against people and would never bet against Elon. But I think from the perspective of like why all of a sudden is AI so important, it's because Sam Altman and OpenAI became the story and he wants to be involved with whatever's hot.
I mean, hot new thing would be one way to describe Musk's desire to be involved in and have an impact in things or most meaningfully shift the trajectory of humanity. Hot new thing is one way to describe it, but I just want to make sure people understand. The actual reason for the founding of XAI wasn't bandwagon jumping, nor was it because Musk thought, oh, well, I don't already have enough shit to do. It's because the once OpenAI, a company a decade ago that Musk was the largest funder of with cash and went to great lengths to recruit incredible talent to set the company up. Its entire mission previously was to create open source AI and to be a not-for-profit. Somewhere along the line, surprise, surprise, that changed and now it's no longer open source and it's also a for-profit company. Oh, and Microsoft owns a huge stake. I'm sure everything's going to be fine. As a result of that, poor old Musk is like, oh, for fuck's sake, not again. Am I really going to have to solve this shit as well? First it's Mars. No one's going to get to Mars unless we build reusable rockets and no one's going to transition to electric. Oh, fuck my life. Oh, God damn it. Okay, I got to do it again. Fuck. Musk's hand was forced, just like with the acquisition of Twitter, now X. What laptop? Yeah, exactly. I posted this February 2023, before XAI had been announced. When is OpenAI going to rename to Closed AI? Some guy called Elon Musk, oh, that's the guy who just started XAI, wrote, good question. I should probably like this post, shouldn't I? Now, I may be misunderstanding what Ross has suggested here, but the impression I get is Ross is insinuating that Musk's chasing after the hot new thing, which is AI, as opposed to have been one of the very earliest investors, the biggest investor, and the most important recruiter of talent to OpenAI, whose mission was open source, not for profit, and then now it's gone to fucking hell in a handbasket. And it's potentially going to become the very thing that OpenAI was founded to avoid occurring. Musk now must act. It's a principle-driven decision out of necessity. And to be clear, what XAI, Musk's AI startup, is doing, well, there's a small amount of overlap with Tesla. The only publicly known product from XAI to date is a large language model. Tesla does not have a large language model, nor have they told anybody they intended on developing one. So it's not as if Musk has taken away an LLM that was going to be developed at Tesla and will now develop that at XAI. And we don't know about any future XAI products, but we do know that Tesla has an extremely valuable data stream. And Tesla has also built a hugely important component of what will ultimately become artificial general intelligence, which is vision. Now, look, in Ross's defense, when we're live, sometimes people say things that contradict themselves that don't make sense. Who knows what he was getting at with this? But I just want to make sure that everyone's quite clear. The reason for XAI is a direct response to the fact that OpenAI has now become the very thing it was designed to not be. And Musk was there at OpenAI on day one. There'd be no XAI if OpenAI hadn't morphed into the anti-OpenAI. But here we are. Furthermore, as far as we know, XAI ain't developing autonomous vehicles. And by the way, I mean, if they were going to try to do that, they'd literally need to raise like $1 trillion. I'm not even joking, by the way. And then steal half of Tesla's engineers. And then Elon would have to leave Tesla, as if that's going to happen. So to be super clear, at this point, XAI is doing nothing that Tesla's doing, and Tesla's doing nothing that XAI is doing. And it would be essentially impossible for XAI to do what Tesla's done with real-world AI, So this is not something that takes away from Tesla. It's just an entirely separate, new, additional project for Musk to work on. No doubt in the future there will be some form of collaboration between the two companies. Makes a hell of a lot of sense for Tesla to have an LLM in their vehicles eventually. License that from Grok and or XAI, why not? And of course, XAI needs compute for training AI. Shout out to Tesla's Dojo chip. I think there will be some ultimate synergies between these two companies. But there's a narrative going around at the moment, a very false one, that seems to suggest that XAI is suddenly stealing away projects that were developed in Tesla. Tesla's going to now, just delete full self-driving? And what? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
And this is an area that he's been involved with his whole career. So I get what he's doing, but this should have all been done under Tesla. And the idea that he has to own 25% of Tesla before he'll actually work for Tesla is really upsetting to me as a Tesla shareholder. So XAI is really a punch in the face to Tesla AI in a lot of ways. And it shows really where his focus is, which is developing AI programs and products versus, really focusing on growing Tesla as a business. And that's, I think, the problem in its core. So I wish Elon luck with whatever he's doing. Certainly, I'm glad he's doing that. But as a Tesla shareholder, it sucks, and there's no spin on it. It just shouldn't be allowed to happen if the board was really a board. But we know the Tesla board is laughable.
Yes, the Tesla board is definitely laughable. Oh, shit, dude. Wow. Such a massive shame that Ross, unfortunately, was unsuccessful in his attempt to force his way onto Tesla's board of directors to tell them how to run the business. No doubt, on day one, Tesla would immediately have solved autonomy, begun deliveries of the next generation vehicles, interest rates would miraculously have come back down to a few quarters of a percent at most, Elon would stop having opinions and looking out for children who can't protect themselves, the stock would go to $400 trillion per share, and Musk would also have shut down XAI because Tesla should be doing LLMs and whatever else they're about to announce. Want more content? Early access? A bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. Plus, has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. And I haven't missed a daily video in more than 3 years. Must be a coincidence, right? Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. But don't take my word for it. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. By the way, viewer, that makes 2 of us. On to the next. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. This viewer's been taking AG1 for 8 months and says, what an investment. Another. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR or I can keep going. There's plenty more to come. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. If you're still skeptical, hey, I don't blame you. Everyone on the planet seems to be promoting AG1 now, but guess what? They weren't nearly 3 years ago when I had this to say privately to my Patreon audience before there was a relationship, when I was asked about what I was doing for my health, energy, and so on. Just sharing my genuine, honest thoughts about a product I'd recently discovered that was at the time called Athletic Greens, now AG1. If I could only recommend one supplement to take, Athletic Greens, and I'm not getting paid to say this, Athletic Greens is a fucking game changer. I cannot believe how effective this is. No longer having a lack of energy in the afternoons. It's fucking amazing. There's only one thing to recommend seriously. Try Athletic Greens. You won't go back. So obviously, just like Elon Musk is a liar, a fraud, a con man, a scammer, a fake engineer, and Tesla's going bankrupt, you shouldn't trust that guy from about 3 years ago who, without any financial incentive, was promoting this product to his audience on Patreon when they were asking about health and what he's doing for supplements. Because obviously, there was some other reason he recommended that, obviously. Not sure what it was, but don't trust that guy. And all the testimonials, like my mental game has improved with AG1. I feel better than ever. I'm so impressed I've bought it for both my parents. I feel more focused and have better digestion. Incredible difference. No more afternoon fatigue. It's relieved gut issues. These are all just obviously fake testimonials from fake people. Right? Wrong. Just try it. Unless you hate yourself. If you hate yourself and you don't even want to risk possibly feeling better, this is not for you. But for everyone else, what's the worst that could happen? Try it for a month. See how you feel. It's a no-brainer. Just click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR. You'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 travel packs. And you'll take the colossal risk that maybe you might have a similar experience to some of the people whose testimonials we've read in this video.